I always like to say hi to all of you that are watching this just in recording. And I told you last week that I would go through one more time that dragon series. I know it's a challenging, really a challenging series. For some, very challenging, and for others, you're ready to do it. But please, as we go through, always that self-awareness, what feels right for you today to do. And I am going to give you another level. I didn't say hi to Nancy and Jim. Hi, Nancy and Jim. I'm going to give you another level of challenge if you want to go there. So I'm just going to show you basically. So remember when we came into Virabhadrasana 3, first of all, we stood up and then we took our leg out, and then you can decide, we call it dragon pose, right? You can decide how far over you went, or if you just kind of stayed here, or whether you hinged over and then bend your knee, and then we come on up. So that is one way that you can do that one. If you want to come from a one-legged down dog and step through, and you come from here. Now you could use a block if you would like, or place your hands on the floor and you lift up, shifting like that one-legged split, shifting and lifting and seeing if you might be able to bring your arms out from here. And then swoop and come on up. So that, again, that is optional. Obviously, one-legged down dogs are optional. You can do a child's pose, you can do a down dog. And then the other one that we did was the gecko. It's actually called the gecko, where we had both of our hands to the inside of our body. And remember, you can use your block. And if you have two blocks, you might want one at each end of your mat. So here you have the option, if you want to put more weight into your arms, your hands can be on a block, your knee can be on the floor, or you can have your leg up. You bend at the elbows and your weight comes into your arms, and then you push back up with the strength of your arms. And again, you may not need a block at all, and you might just do it with both of your hands in this direction. But knee on the ground too is fine, and you might just bend a little bit and come on up. So those are the main things that we're going to do. And also, we came up into Vira 2, right? And last week we went to Vira 2 on the other side, but we're not going to do that. We're going to pivot all the way around to Vira 1 and come right on in to the other side. So we won't do Vira 2 on each side. I think it'll make sense once we get going. And notice this it's very yang. So there is a bit of a cardiovascular response to it. So your breath might be different, but if you feel like, I'm just gonna take it down a notch, then just pause and take your Tadasana or your child's pose. It's all about listening to your body. So with that in mind, go ahead and find your comfortable seated position, unless you have a question, and you can certainly unmute. Hi, Chris. Welcome. You can certainly unmute. I'm just going to switch our music while you get settled. And while you do settle in there, I invite you just to check in with the temperature of your room. Just kind of noticing those external sounds that at times can take us out of coming inward, and let them just draw you in, bring you more and more with your awareness inside the body. And you can just draw your awareness to the base of your head and your neck. Allow your chin to just become parallel to the floor, and softly drawing the chin in. And of course, if you're on your back, it's just dropping that chin softly down. The intention is to feel the muscles of the neck let go, and just allow your shoulders to release down here. And we're going to slide our awareness from the base of our head all the way down to our heart center, right there in the center of our chest. Let's just pause there. Now, we were talking about some of you had a very busy week, things going on in our life, some heart filling and some can kind of make us contracting. Let's just make an effort here to soften. So you can imagine that whatever might be weighing on you, just softly flutter away or wash down, whatever is your visual for you. And I'm just going to invite you to breathe in the word love. Remember, we were talking about self-love. You can get in the habit of, as the drama triangle calls it, being the persecutor of ourself, negative self-talk. And having compassion for ourselves allows us to have compassion for others. So if you didn't accomplish everything you wanted to accomplish this week, or you made a mistake in doing something, it's all okay. And let's just draw our awareness down to our navel, and we'll start with our diaphragmatic breathing. So each time you inhale, just allow your navel to extend out. As you exhale, allow the belly to soften back in toward the spine. Just feel the belly begin to soften, the diaphragm can move down, allowing for more breath when we start to deepen our breath. Be mindful that you're softening the space in between your eyebrows and your jaw, behind your heart, down into the hips. And just allow a feeling of letting go, if you will, or softening all the way down the legs. So begin with the knees, ankles, tops of your feet, your toes. How about the arches of your feet, your heels? And let's just allow ourselves to deepen our breath and move into Dirshwasam. So if you take a nice, slow exhalation, and when you're ready, just feel the belly again. Let the rest of the breath come into the rib cage and up and behind the collarbones. And then feel everything just gently wave back down until lastly, that navel is drawing in. Notice how the breath is passing over the back of your throat, and go ahead and create that ujjayi sound if you haven't already, that ocean sound. Or you can silently say saw with each exhale. Saw with each inhale, and ha with each exhale. And then see if you can just slowly increase the duration of the exhalation. Allow yourself to be fully present, listening to the sound of your breath and feeling the wave-like effect of your breath. And we're going to just stay with this wave-like effect of our breath. You can adjust it to whatever you need to while we do Nadi Shodhana. So if you take a nice slow exhalation and just take your right thumb onto your right nostril, slowly inhale through your left nostril only. And at the end of that inhalation, you're going to close off with your ring finger and slowly exhale out the right nostril. Just at your rhythm of breath, no hurry. When you're ready, you'll be breathing back in through your right nostril. Of course, closing off with your thumb when you feel ready, and allow your exhalation to softly come back out the left. You're going to start up again when you feel ready, but this time really set the intention of feeling the coolness in the back of the nasal passage, and let yourself have just that gentle pause so you know you've completed your breath. And the same thing when you go to take your exhalation, give yourself that gentle pause. Know that you're working the right and the left hemisphere of the brain and allowing your autonomic nervous system to calm, bringing more clarity of mind, body, and breath. And I invite you, when you end up taking your exhalation out your left nostril the next time, just take your time. But when you get around to taking that exhalation, just allow your hand to float down. And just let go of any control of your breath. Taking that witnessing position of just witnessing, watching that breath. Feel how your body feels after your pranayama. And as you move through this asana practice, know that you might not always be coordinating your breath with what you're doing, but just stay aware of your breath and keep yourself in this state of awareness of mind, body, and breath as best you can. And I'm going to invite those of you on your back to come on up into a seated position. And it can be any position for your legs that you need it to be in to protect your knees and your hips. Once you get there, I invite you to stack your shoulders over your hips and extend your arms out. Let your chin soften in towards your throat. Let's take that exhalation and feel our navel draw in and turn the palms up and begin lifting the arms and allowing the rib cage to lift up. Allow the shoulders to come up toward the ears. Once the hands come together, you'll slowly draw down to your heart center, keeping the chest lifted, and maybe you can drop your chin in once your hands are at your heart center. Take a deep breath in. We're going to exhale and push our hands out away from us as we make a C shape and bring the back of the wrist together. Maybe your chin can drop in. And then inhale and tilt your pelvis forward and open your heart center. Draw the arms back, flex through those wrists. And whenever you're ready to exhale, turn the wrists the other way. Feel the stretch down through the back of the wrist here. Let your belly draw in. Let your shoulder blades separate each time you take your exhalation. When you go to take your inhale this next time, just let yourself stretch back and then exhale back into a neutral spine. So we're going to warm up our shoulders, our back, and actually right through the hamstring. We're going to take our right foot. We've done this a few weeks ago. We're going to take your right leg and bend it. Some of you, it might have to be a little straighter out. If you can bring the foot up toward the buttocks, great. We've got our left leg bent, and we're going to take our hand onto the ball mounts of our toes. So we're reaching. So that knee is as bent as you need it to be. Now you're going to exhale and try pushing in your foot down toward the floor like a gas pedal, and feel your shoulder blade draw away from your center of your back. And then inhale and lift that foot back up. So I'm going to turn sideways so you might be able to see me better. So now we've got our foot flexed. We're going to take our right arm and straighten it where our shoulders are squared off toward our foot as best we can. Take an inhalation, and as you exhale, press into your gas pedal and twist your heart center open to the right as maybe you can look toward that right shoulder. And then you're going to inhale back toward the center, squaring off the shoulders. Now keep your foot flexed and exhale your elbow toward that left leg as close as you can get, and maybe allow your chin to drop down, stretching right through the right side of the back. And then inhale straight up again. When you're ready to exhale, you're going to press into your foot. And you can extend your legs straighter if you have the flexibility. You can kind of figure out for you what is the distance you need. When you take your other exhale here, the elbow's going to come close in. So draw it near, you're almost in a little bit of a twist as you come over. And we'll inhale back up. Open the heart when you're ready. Coming back around. Now this time when you take your exhalation down, you're going to let go of your foot. You don't have to have your foot flexed anymore. You have both arms down alongside that leg, and you can possibly let your head drop in. You know your body the best. Some of you can even slide your left leg a little straighter, and that might be okay with your body. Let your inhalations just draw right up in between the shoulder blades. And as you exhale, just hollow out that space between the pubic bone and the navel. And let your head soften into whatever degree is comfortable to your neck. And you can let your arms soften. You don't have to be reaching out. Whatever kind of helps you to just relax here. This is very yin. We're going to let ourselves have one more exhalation. When you're ready to inhale, just slide your hands along the floor and begin to stack your shoulders right over your hips. Good. So we're going to switch feet. I'll turn the other direction so you can see better. So now we've got our left leg tucked in. We've got our right knee bent. Let's first just take a hold of that foot and try pushing into the foot so we can kind of determine where we need that knee to be bent. And feel your shoulder blade draw away from the center of your spine. Now we'll flex our foot. We're going to lift our left arm up to try to square our shoulders off. Take a nice inhalation here. When you're ready to exhale, press into your foot, turn to the left and open your heart. Maybe you can turn your head toward the left as well. And then you're going to slowly come back to the center. You'll be exhaling the elbow toward the center of the body, stretching right down through the left side of the back. And when you're ready, inhale and come back up. Exhaling and open your heart center, twisting to the left when you're ready. Pushing into the foot. Come on back. I'm going to ask you to do that one more time. So just take your time. And you might even notice the difference in this side when you bring that elbow down right through that left side of the back. I can tell my left side is a little tighter than my right. When you do bring down your arm this next time with your exhale, let go of your foot. Your foot does not need to remain flexed anymore. And then determine after a breath or two whether you want to try to straighten the leg at all. And you may choose not to, and that's okay. Feel the breath expand right up in between the shoulder blades. And then hollow out the space between the pubic bone and the navel. We're going to take one more exhalation, and then we're going to just let our hands drag our bodies back up. Those come right by the body and stack over your shoulders. So once you get up, we're going to take our feet into this, where the soles of our feet are together, and we have more of a diamond shape in the legs. We'll lift our knees up and reach through the legs. We're going to stretch through the outer hip now. And you can just take your time here. Again, another yin, very opposite of the dragon series, right? It's very yin. So you're just slowly letting your knees fall open if that works for your body. Some of you, your elbows might even come past the arm, past the legs on the outside of the legs, whatever works for you. And then maybe your head will even drop in. Find your breath. We're going to take one more exhalation and then just engage your bandhas. When you're ready, lift from your chest first. come up. So now take your feet very close in, if your body lets you. In other words, your knees are okay, your hips are okay. As close into your body as you can. You're going to take your hands underneath your feet, if you can, and gently press your knees down toward the floor. So now you can tell we're into the groin more. Some of you might just close your eyes and breathe here. And others of you can take your elbows down onto your legs and actually press into your legs even further. Maybe your head even drops in. So choose what feels okay with your body. A comfortable edge is fine. You don't want to feel like you're straining. Just allow yourself one more exhalation. We're going to come right on up into table pose. So just take your time. Have your block handy, because we'll be moving into our hip stretch that we did last week. If you feel like you need a block. So first, let's come into table and warm up the spine and the legs a little bit further. So if you will just let yourself have an inhale, and when you're ready to exhale, pull your right knee in, activating your core, and bring your chin toward that right knee, arching up as best you can. And then inhale and extend that right leg out, contract your upper back, and lift your chest and let your chin come towards your throat. And then activate your core again, exhale and pull in. Let it be very mindful movement here. You're very much working the core as you draw in. Now, if it's possible for you, when you come back in and complete your exhalation, you're just going to step your right foot right up in between your hands. Otherwise, get it there whatever way works for you. You want to align your ankle and your knee and take both of your hands to the inside of your foot. Now, you can use your block if you want. See if you might be able to slide your left leg back without taking your front leg out of alignment. So both hands are on the inside. This is where you can go deeper into the gecko if you would like. So just take a deep breath in. For those of you who want to, bend at the elbows, and your body weight's going to come into your upper arms, and you sink a little deeper into the legs maybe. And then you just press back up again. Once you press up, we're going to twist towards your right leg. So your left hand will slide over. You'll pull your right arm back and lift. Now your drishti again can be up at the ceiling, or it can be down at the mat, which is a little easier on the neck. So you choose. Your legs are gently drawing toward one another. I'm going to take a deep breath in, and as we go to exhale, just bring your hand down and step that right foot back. We're going to bring up first we're going to work through the core again with this left leg. So if you'll take a deep breath in, when you're ready to exhale, pull the knee in toward the chin, and then inhale and re-extend. Activate the core as you pull in, very mindful movements, and take any wrist breaks that you might need. And when you end up coming forward after that exhalation, if you can just step your foot up, align your knee and your ankle, both hands come to the inside. So it's a deep groin stretch, and you can decide if you want to take your back knee back a little bit. If you feel like you can exhale and bend the elbows and let your weight fall a little bit deeper into the arms, go ahead and just press yourself back up. When you're ready, slide your right hand over towards your left foot and draw your arm back, opening the heart center up more toward the ceiling. Mind your drishti, gently draw your legs toward one another. And just find your breath. So we're going to take a deep breath in here, and we'll just exhale our hand down. If possible, you're going to step up from right where you are, or just get up to the end of your mat in whatever way works. We're going to have your feet hip bone distance apart, but we're going to bend our knees and allow our belly to come onto our thighs. And remember, in Dragon series, because this is an Asian yoga, the arms are actually your dragon arms. So let's just take those dragon wings and wrap them gently around our legs just to open up the upper back. Maybe your chin can soften in. Take a nice slow exhalation here and inhale your dragon arms out and begin to lift your arms up, turn your palms up. You're going to come all the way up and soften right down to your heart center, chin to your chest. Let's do that again. We're going to inhale those dragon wings out, and then we're going to swan dive down, either bent knees or straight. You decide what feels right. Be aware of your bandhas. Now bend your knees and inhale all the way back up again. Let your hands float down to your heart center. We're going to do that one more time. So just let your arms come on out into those dragon wings. This time, when you exhale down and your knees are bent, I invite you just to pause there. So take a deep breath in with your arms out. Now, as you exhale, pull your belly in and round up and draw your hands up the body toward the belly and then up toward the heart. This is what we were doing last week. It's part of the Dragon series. And then you just inhale and extend up. And let your hands come back down to your heart center as you take your exhalation. Let your arms come down by your side. Turn the palms up. Close your eyes and just feel your head an extension of your spine. So you're standing in your Tadasana. Nice, slow breaths. So we're first going to practice our balance on each leg. That Karate Kid balance, if you want to call it that. Could be a modified tree pose. We're going to shift our weight into our left leg and come up onto the toes of the right. Find your core here, and then just see if you might be able to lift your knee up. Maybe your toes staying down. Maybe it lifts up, maybe the arms come up. And if you're coming up and down, it's okay. You know, sometimes we have those days. We're still strengthening our concentration and our balance. Now let's set that leg down. Find your Tadasana again. Check that your feet are hip bone distance apart. Be aware of your breath. Now when you're ready, just open your eyes, find your drishti. You're going to shift your weight now into your right hip. Lift from the core. Extend the arms as though you have the muscles activated in your arms. And then see if you can possibly lift up your left leg. When you feel ready, just come back out and find that Tadasana again. Get the rhythm of your breath. So remember, the Dragon series starts with that standing. We'll just lift the knee and we're going to step right back and into Vira 1 and slide into our lunge or whatever's going to get us down into that gecko position. So when you're ready, open the eyes, just come up onto the toes, and if possible, take the inhalation and lift that right leg. And exhale back, either into Vira 1 and then easing your way down or stepping all the way down. Both hands are the inside of your body, or inside of your foot. And then you might want to bend the elbows, maybe, maybe not. Leg is up or leg is down. We're then going to twist toward our leg. So just slide your right hand over and open your heart center as though you're going to open it up toward the ceiling. If you have your leg lifted, you're pressing through your heel. It's like the back of your knee is coming up toward the ceiling. Take a deep breath in here. When you're ready to exhale, let your hand come down and step back into a down dog or a child's pose or a one-legged down dog. Trying to keep your hips or your shoulders squared off here. If possible, your toes are facing down toward the floor if you're in a one-legged down dog. So remember, this next one is where we step our foot up in between our hands, and we can either put our knee down on the floor or we're in a deep lunge with the legs straight. So when you're ready, bring that left foot forward, and either the knee is going to come down or you're going to press through your back leg, and your right leg will be nice and strong as you inhale the arms. Whoa, you inhale the arms up. Lost my balance there. We're going to exhale and contract through the upper back and open the heart center, and then we'll just inhale again back up. You'll exhale your hands down, and you'll be right back into your down dog or your child's pose or your one-legged down dog. Find your rhythm of your breath. Relax your jaw and your shoulders. So right from here, we're going to step up right into Virabhadrasana 2. Some of you have to stand up and do that. Some of you can just swing that left leg through and pivot on your back foot. So whatever way gets you there, your left foot will be forward. Your right foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Check the alignment of your left foot that it's not crooked, and then extend your arms out. Turn the palms up and soften through the shoulders. Remember last week we talked about how our backhand represents our past and how we allow our resentments and our anger and things that maybe happened to in our lives that we didn't really like pass through our heart can really determine how we look at our future and impact our future, which your left hand represents. So I invite you to take an exhalation. Then we're going to inhale, straighten our leg and reach our arms up. We're going to pivot all the way to the right until you're in Vira 1 briefly. Once you get there, you're coming down right away to twist towards your right leg. So you just come into that runner's lunge, or you put your left leg down, whichever you prefer. Find your breath, make a comfortable place for your neck. Legs are slightly drawn together. Take a deep breath in. We're going to exhale and bring our hand down. And we're going to step back and into our down dog or our one-legged down dog. Now, there is one option I forgot to show you here. So you're going to have, remember from here, we come into our arm balance. And last week we set our knee on the floor and we opened up and tried to stack our shoulders, which is the modified Vastasana. And you are welcome to do that. Those who want to try a full Vastasana, bring your right foot down to the floor. Pull your body into plank. Make sure that your hips are not higher than your shoulders. And then tilt to the right. And you're going to balance with your legs off the floor and extend your left arm up. This isn't accessible to everybody, so don't feel like you need to do that. You can still have your knee on the floor and lift. You're just going to take a few breaths, or maybe just 2. And when you're ready, you're going to unwind out of it and back and into your downward dog. And some of you will be a one-legged down dog. So here is where we come into that dragon pose, where you have the option of just stepping up to the top of your mat and coming into Virabhadrasana 3, or dragon pose that way. Or we can step up into that lunge, and you can use your block or not, and you kind of work your way into that almost a standing split, and then you activate your core and see if you might be able to come into your dragon in that position. And when you're ready, just bend your knees. Let your dragon arms swoop down and take that exhalation and pull up from your belly, just drawing the energy up to the heart, inhaling when you're ready, and exhaling back down to the heart. Once you get your hands down by your heart, let your hands come down alongside your body. Find your Tadasana. Maybe you're going to turn your palms out, your chin is softened in towards your throat. And softly let go all the way down through your feet. Notice the rhythm of your breath. Congratulate yourselves for getting through one side, one round of dragon. We're going to do it on the way back now. So bear in mind, if you're more tired, modify what you need. So this time, let's open our eyes. We'll start by lifting the left leg up. So if your arms can come out, just come onto the toes if need be, activate your core. As you inhale, maybe lift the leg. You're going to step back into one or right into your lunge with both of your hands to the inside. If it seems appropriate, lower yourself into the gecko. The arms bend and you sink a little further. If not, you just stay there. When you're ready, turn towards your right leg. Left hand's going to have to come a little closer into your foot. Open your heart up here and gently squeeze the legs together. Let's take another deep breath in. We're going to lower our hand down and step back into our down dog or our one-legged down dog. Trying to keep the shoulders squared off, the right toes pointed down toward the floor. Or maybe you're taking a child's pose, and that's fine too. When you're ready, you're going to step your right foot forward, whatever way gets you there, either knee on the floor or leg up, and take your time to inhale and lift your arms up. And of course, you'll be exhaling. Contract the upper back and feel your heart center broaden here. And then re-extend when you're ready, coming back down and into your downward dog or your child's pose or your one-legged Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now, right from here, we're going to step up into Virabhadrasana 2 with our right foot forward. So if you need to stand up to get there, go right ahead. Left foot's going to be parallel to the back of your mat. And pause and find all that alignment. Heel to arch, foot is straight, right knee's pulled back, left shoulder's in line with our hip. We extend the arms out, opening through the heart center, and just turn your palms up and let your shoulders soften. You've got this energy of yang in your legs, like your inner thighs are drawing toward one another, but yet you have the energy of yin in your upper body. Very soft. Your jaw is relaxed. So we're going to take one more exhalation. We'll inhale and extend. We'll pivot all the way over to Vira 1, just long enough to let ourselves sink down and twist toward our left leg. So whatever that is, either knee on the floor or leg up. Activate the muscles of the legs to hold you there. So it's not just all falling in your arm. And when you take your next exhalation, take your time to bring the hand down, back into your downward dog, child's pose, or one-legged down dog. So remember, we're going to do the modified Vastasana, the arm balance, or the full Vastasana. If you want to take the modified one, drop your left knee to the floor. A full one, pull forward into plank, and then tilt to your left. And really feel yourself draw your rib cage up toward the ceiling and extend through your right arm. So your whole body is activated. Otherwise, you just have your knee on the floor, which is totally fine. Unwind out of it whenever you're ready. Child's pose or a down dog, or your one-legged down dog. Now you can choose how you want to come into your Virabhadrasana 3, or what they call the dragon asana. So if you want to stand up and come into it that way, you're balancing on your left foot. Otherwise, just step forward and maybe lift your right leg up, extending the arms out, maybe not. Only for a breath or two, and then both knees will bend. You'll swoop your arms down. When you're ready to take an exhalation, you pull the belly in, drawing the energy up toward the heart, and inhaling and re-extending. And then draw it all back down toward the heart center, chin to your chest. And I invite you just to let your arms slide down by your body, turn your palms out, and let yourself stand in Tadasana with your head an extension of your spine. And just like when we're in child's pose, Tadasana is an opportunity to just softly let go. All the way down. Maybe you can lift up your toes. So we're going to work our way down to the floor. So if you'll just inhale and reach your arms up, we're going to swan dive, either bent knees or straight, just like we did before. Except I'm going to invite you just to pause in that Uttanasana for a moment. Maybe the elbows are tucked in. Notice the freedom in the body compared to the first time you came over. Now, when you're ready to take your exhalation, just bend your knees. We're going to come down onto the floor into a seated position, and we're going to focus in on our shoulders and our neck for just a moment. So whatever position, if you want to stretch your hips and you're able to do this one, you may not all be able to do this one. If you're able to sit in cow legs, if you will, you can certainly sit where one leg is wrapped over the top of the other. It stretches the outer hip while we work on the neck, but that might not be available to many of you. You could also try square, which is more ankle on top of the knee sort of position. What I want you to be focused on more is your neck. So if it feels best just to be in a seated position, that's fine. So we're going to reach our arms out. We're going to take our right arm and extend it. So we've got our left arm extended out just with the middle fingertips touching. Now take your hand to the outside of your head here, and you're going to gently drop your ear over toward the right. You're not pulling your head, right? This left arm is extended. Your shoulders aren't moving. They're right over your hips. But I would like you to notice, you can just softly close your eyes. Notice if you gently tuck your chin in or you kind of lift it a little bit, where do you get the best stretch? Once you find that, just pause there and breathe. See if you might be able to let that breath expand right up into the collarbones. And just have that feeling of softening as you take your exhalation. Now, when you go to take your next exhale, you're going to lift your head up. This left hand is now going to be more on the crown of your head. And you're going to bring your elbow in toward the forehead, but turn your chin over toward the right side of your chest. Now we're going to take our left hand, lift it up, and place it on the back of our shoulder as best we can. And you're going to draw that left elbow back. I know this is kind of pretzel-like. Now, as you go to take your exhalation, draw your chin down toward the right side of your chest. Let your right elbow stay tucked in, but your left elbow is drawn back. And just breathe here. Again, you're not pulling on your head. It's just kind of the weight of your hand and your arm is just gently drawing down. If it's too much, just let go a bit. Let the breath lift all the way up. Allow yourself a nice full inhalation and just take an exhale. When you inhale the next time, lift your arms straight up out of your shoulders. Let your right hand come down to the floor and let your left hand come to the outside of your head here. Shoulders are stacked, comfortable position, and then exhale and drop that left ear over. Make sure that you're comfortable on your back. You can adjust your legs to whatever position you need. Allow the breath just to extend all the way up to the collarbones. Adjust your chin to wherever you get that best stretch. I can feel I'm much tighter on my right than I am on my left. Now take an exhalation and just lift your head up. We're going to do the same thing. So you just rotate the palm more onto the crown of your head. We're going to take our right arm up and place it on the upper back. Turn your chin toward the left side of your chest and your elbows kind of tucked in toward the center of the head. And then just gently drop your left chin, or drop your chin toward the left side of your chest. But at the same time, you're drawing back on your right elbow. Don't let your shoulders come forward or tilt to one side. After you take your next exhalation, just let your arms inhale all the way up. And this time we're going to just allow both of our arms to come down toward the floor again. And just feel our middle fingertip touch the floor. Just close your eyes for just a moment. And then soften the arms just closer in towards your body. You can rest them on your legs if you prefer. As you take an inhalation, turn your chin over towards your right shoulder. As you exhale, let your chin roll down along your collarbones and all the way over to the left side. You'll be taking an inhalation to lift your head up. And then exhale and let your chin just roll along the collarbones until you take an inhale to lift the chin to the right. We'll do that one more time. Good. So you can just open your eyes. We're going to come onto our back here. So take your time. Once you get onto your back, I'm going to invite you to bring your knees into your chest for just a moment. Place your hands up on top of your kneecaps with your arms straight. We'll do a couple Apanasana. So just exhale and activate that core and fully draw the knees in. And then as you inhale, re-extend the arms back out. And try that again. Just pull the knees in. We're going to pause with the knees in and take our arms out into a T shape. Take a deep breath in and exhale over to the left, but don't let yourself touch if possible, and turn your head to the right for those who can. Trying to keep your right shoulder down, and then slowly inhale back. You're going to rock to the other side with your exhale when you're ready. Very mindfully activate the core. Make sure you can feel that core, and as you let the left shoulder stay down, trying to bring the chin over in that direction if that works for you. We'll do that again, so just take your time. And we'll invite you, not to rush you, just to let you know, because everybody breathes a little differently. When you come back to the left, which will be your third time probably coming back to the left, we're going to let our legs come all the way down onto the floor. Now you might need a block underneath your legs or a blanket. You're trying to keep your right shoulder as much down on the floor as your body is going to allow you. If it comes off a little bit, it's okay. Not a big deal. Now, with your arms extended out and your heart center open, I'd like you just to tune into your legs and make sure you're not holding your legs up or carrying any tension in your legs, all the way from the right side of your hip down through the knee and down to the sole of your feet. Just feel yourself let go. Now place your head in some comfortable position for you. And each time you exhale, just feel your navel fully draw in, and maybe you can even do a 2-count pause. And then inhale and let go and let your awareness move up towards your heart center. And when you're ready to exhale, just gently let the belly draw in and see if you might be able to do a 2-count pause. When you let your inhalation come up towards your chest, you might even feel the stretch right through your pectoral muscle in your chest on the right shoulder area. Depends on where you're tight. So I'm going to invite you, when you go to take your next exhale, activate your core and roll onto your back and pause with 2 apanasanas. Just take your time. We want to let the back come into neutral, really activate the core, but staying pretty yin. When you draw those knees in the second time, you're going to float your legs over to the right. So get whatever you might need over there for your blanket or your block. Soften the legs down and just pause there. Check in again. Can you let go all the way down through the left side of the hip, down through your knees, your feet are relaxed. Once you feel you can let go of that lower body, then let your focal point come into the breath. So as you take that exhalation, if you feel as though you can add that 2-count pause, then please do that. And then as you inhale, let your breath move as much up into the chest, but draw your awareness about to your heart center. Make sure your head is in a position that's comfortable for you. So we're going to let our next exhalation draw us back onto our back. So activate that core when you're ready. Allow yourself 2 of those apanasanas, letting that back come back into neutral. And you can stay with the apanasanas or circles or whatever, or you can move into happy baby pose. Whatever completes your practice for you. Because when we're ready, we're going to just let ourselves slide into Shavasana. So if you want to change your lighting or get whatever you need, your socks, etc. Maybe you even have a blanket to put underneath your head. Sometimes it feels kind of good to just have that little bit of lift underneath your head. Under the knees is always awesome, in my opinion. Or if you'd like a blanket over you, this is the time where you get the greatest benefit of anything about yoga, is learning to still ourselves. And it doesn't mean that your mind won't be in operation by any means, but it's letting ourselves allow the thoughts to even be there if they come, where we don't get attached to them, we don't have an emotional response to them. So when you end up finding that place where you can just extend out and feel your body just soften into your mat, let's just bring our awareness into our breath again. So if you'll just let your inhalation draw your awareness right up to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, just take that silent hum down towards your feet. And the silent soul waving up the spine to the crown of your head. Setting the intention to allow yourself to soften. There's nothing that you need to accomplish. And when you take your next hum down to your feet, I invite you just to let go of any control of your breath. Let's just step back and witness this exchange that we talked about last week. There's an automatic giving and receiving with our breath. We don't need to create it, we can just witness it. And we can set our intention to just feel our jaw soften, let our shoulders go, and know that with each exhalation, we're becoming more and more calm, more and more at ease. Just witness when we let that guard down and we become in that place of more ease. As we witness the inhalation, we can freely feel ourselves more open, more expansive. I invite you just to bring your awareness to the space in between your eyebrows, allowing that area just to soften, broaden. Let's bring it over the eyes and pause at our eyes. Just let the muscles of the eyes let go. We'll allow it to softly move down our face until we get to our jaw. And just allow your teeth to separate. And as you remove the tongue from the roof of the mouth, feel the softness down your throat and follow that out to the notch in the throat and extend it out to the tops of your shoulders. Once again, softening those shoulders back and down. Feeling how we're completely supported. And there's safety and strength in just letting go. And when you're ready to follow an exhalation, just allow a wave of softness to move down through the arms until you feel it washing into the palm of your hand and out to the tips of each one of your fingers, as well as your thumbs. As we willingly let go of our upper body, we can move our awareness just to witnessing the wave-like effect of our breath. Allow ourselves to become more and more at ease. And I invite you to just bring your awareness to your heart center. And let's move our awareness to the wave-like effect of our inhale. Each time that you take a breath in and you receive that breath, imagine that it's like warm, loving sunlight moving right through your heart center and into every cell of your being. If you would just float your conscious attention back up to the crown of your head. And when you feel ready, just allow a wave of love to softly move down through the body until it washes right out the bottom of your feet. You can just let go of your body completely and take in the peace that resides here, the love that holds us. It's always here, just waiting for us to pause. And I just invite you again this week, as you're just deepening your breath, to bring your awareness back to your heart center, if you will, and just think about, again, a quality that you carry. All of us are uniquely ourselves and carry something into this world, but oftentimes we get into that persecutor mindset that is just an old habit pattern that we've picked up of criticizing ourselves. We can pick up that same habit pattern of judging and criticizing others. But if we start with ourself and that self-compassion, that isn't from an egocentric place. It's because when we can start loving ourselves, it's so much easier to care and love and not be judgmental of others. And I want to share a thought. This is actually from the empowerment dynamic, but I've used this analogy before about how we get our minds going sometimes. And the only way we can change the pattern is by noticing it. And here's an analogy. Imagine a train station with trains coming and going, and you can hop on at any time. Many trains go to the mountains, the oceans, and various destinations. Once you have become familiar with the train's destination, you can decide to hop off and take another train. You don't have to ride the train all the way to the end to find out where it's going. You can simply hop off at the next station and wait for another train to come along. Your thoughts are like that. You don't have to go all the way to the end of the line of a drama-filled thought before you hop off. You can choose to take a new train of thought at any time. We're always given the choice. It's our free will. And one of the things that I like this acronym that they use. It says, develop your ability to witness your conversation from a distance. We call this the self-observing self, or the SOS, which is an ability to witness your conversation so that it becomes less personal. When you are mindful of what you say, your yearning for a healthier conversation will grow. So I just remind you to notice, because you'll feel, whether it be judging others or judging yourself, you'll feel it in your body, and then you know you're being triggered on a train that you don't want to go in. And you can easily make that choice at that moment to move into a different mindset, a different thought, until eventually the trains tend to go more where you want them. So when you're ready, if you would bring yourself back on up into your centering position. And I know I can catch myself, in old habit patterns and go, wow. But at least I catch myself, not in judgment, not in shaming, but like, man, I got a pattern here. I don't want to be going down that train. So switch over to the next train. Now, if you will, if you take a nice slow exhalation, just notice how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And then one last time, let's just float our dragon wing arms back up again until the hands come together. We'll lower down to our forehead to remind us of those mindful thoughts, at our mouth for mindful words, and in our heart center for mindful actions. And namaste, everybody.